Hi everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to our second episode in what will hopefully be a long and fruitful series of what we think might be helpful for you to know, what you might like to know about Artfinder. I'd like to introduce this episode, which is about shipping tables, as well as myself. My name is Cheska. I work in support here. Some of you may have spoken to me. I like to get involved with your queries and concerns and feedback. Of late, I have been dragged away from the front line to work on slightly bigger picture projects like optimizing artist payments, which I'm sure is a subject near and dear to your hearts, and shipping. So with me on that, I'd also like to introduce our brilliant tech genius and unbelievably patient Marcus, who has to put up with me banging on about shipping tables all the time and how we can make them better. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself? And specifically what you do here, not that you like pina coladas and walks in the rain.
Thanks, Cheska.
That's okay.
So I'm Marcus. I obviously work for the tech team, and for I don't know about the past year, I've been looking at shipping and shipping tables, helping Cheska. So it's all good.
He's been really helping. And are you excited to be here today?
I sure am. Yes.
Excellent. So first off, we want to thank you for tuning in, if you did, for our episode 1, for our pilot, if you like. And we want to thank you so much for your feedback, because obviously this is quite a new thing for us, and all the constructive criticism has really helped us build and improve for this time. The most that we took away from your comments about this is that you want it to be slightly longer, and I am super happy to talk for hours about shipping tables. I could run a degree course on shipping tables, so I will waffle on as long as you like. This is also going to give our users, on the continent a little bit more time to join in. Speaking of timing, we've also facilitated better for our friends in America, because I believe last time there were some complaints about how they didn't want to wake up at 3 a.m. to tune in, and I suppose that's reasonable. So this is a good time for everyone. Plus we've had the whole day to get hyped up about it. You also wanted it to be more fun. Well, what could be more fun than shipping tables? We brought Marcus for the fun.
We did.
And we have a balloon as well.
Right here.
You also wanted better sound and lighting. So we're sitting under a light, and we got a microphone. So we're really going all out for you guys. The other thing we wanted to say is we realize that a lot of you know our names, but not necessarily our faces. So we have put together a video of the office, so you can kind of see our smiles and our waves and friendly faces, and so you know who you're dealing with. So we're going to play that for you right now.
Hi, I'm Jen from Artfinder. Just wanted to take you on a quick tour of our office. Follow me.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that little video of our office. Cheska was wearing the same jumper, obviously.
Thanks, man.
No worries, it's all right. So I should give you a bit of background about why it's Cheska and I in front of you today to talk about shipping. As I touched on earlier, it's for the past year we've become the authorities on shipping at Artfinder. We know it's difficult and it's complex, but we stick with it and we try. Cheska's talking to the shipping carriers almost on a daily basis to sort out where shipments are and customs. So it's an ongoing process, and we try our best to find the right information for you.
Streamline it.
Yeah. So so I should say on the website, when it comes to shipping, there are two elements. One part of it is obviously the shipping tables, and the other part is Artfinder Shipping Plus. So here's a little video done by Michelle regarding shipping tables.
Hi guys, welcome to this short video about shipping tables. Shipping tables are a way to specify a price for shipment to a country, continent, or globally. Before you start, you'll need to know how you will ship your artworks. For example, in a small or large box, and a typical weight of your parcel. Don't worry, you can ship multiple sizes, and you can set up multiple shipping tables for these sizes. Next, you'll need to choose a courier and obtain a cost to ship your artworks domestically or internationally. We won't get into the details just yet. This is a subject for another video. So now that you have a courier and a cost for domestic and international shipping, let's set up the table. First, I'm going to give the table a name. For example, medium artworks. Here. Awesome. If you can only ship one artwork for that price, you can enter 1. Let's move on. I know that it will cost £10 to ship domestically from my courier. I also know that my courier will give me roughly £20 to ship anywhere in Europe. Awesome. I know that I can add another country at a later time, actually many other countries at a later time, by clicking the Add Destination button. Now I'm going to press save to make sure all of my changes have saved. And that's the basic covered. Thanks for watching.
And a big thank you to Michelle for putting that together. So yes, thanks Michelle. One thing I wanted to mention is that video will be shortly available. I can't tell you quite how shortly, but we're going to put it on our knowledge base so that you can watch it again and again and again. And the other thing is, if you are struggling to find quotes from couriers, there is on our knowledge base a comprehensive article called "What Courier Should I Use?" that can give you more specific numbers that you can put in your shipping tables.
Okay, I'd also like to add about shipping tables is it's important to remember the layers. So when the domestic line and like where you're shipping from in your own country is the minimum we need when you creating a shipping table. But ideally what we want to see are the regions one, the Europe one, and the everywhere in the world especially, because the everywhere in the world one, once that's set, that means anyone who comes to our website can buy your artwork. So it's important that they're set.
Yes. Okay, so next up in our schedule, we would like to answer some questions that came on in the forum. First off, thank you so much for getting involved. I'm so excited to see how many of you are as enthralled by shipping tables as I am, and thank you for your feedback. There are some real gems there, and I can't wait to tell you about them. First off, we have a question from Zaira, who's asked, could we create a table for packaging costs or packaging materials? This is something that has come up before, and in theory, yes, we could. There's no reason why we couldn't, but we opted not to because we already need our artists to compile shipping tables. We didn't want to add an extra level of complexity, more research that they'd have to do. So we sort of leave it to the discretion of our artists as to where they want to include packaging costs. Again, it varies depending on what you're shipping, where you're shipping it. You'd probably have the same problems that you currently have for your shipping tables. And yeah, you should be able to just stick it in the artwork price or the shipping price. Anything to add?
Yeah, it's interesting to note that of artists that register on the site or have their application accepted, and a lot of them will go through the process of creating their shop. However, the stumbling block is always the shipping tables, so it's really imperative that we keep them as simple as possible.
Great, thank you. Anita has asked, is there any possibility of a price available on request option? As an artist who works on paper which cannot always be rolled, I find that estimates for some regions of the world are prohibitively expensive compared to the price of the work itself. Very true. This has made me reluctant to offer worldwide shipping prices automatically, although I would be glad to obtain and pass on to buyers bespoke quotes on request. Wow, there is so much that I want to say about this. Don't really know where to start. Marcus, would you like to start?
Yeah, well, it's a really good question. I think that what we could possibly do is where your shipping details are displayed on your product page, we could possibly add a link that is, as you said, price available on request, that acts as a shortcut to the messages, the contact artist thing, with maybe a title that says request for Australian shipping rates, and hopefully that will facilitate the customer asking.
Yeah, because we do find out that an awful lot of our customers do reach out if they're unsure about pricing. They'll reach out to us or they'll reach out to you guys directly. And a common problem is you're liaising with the customer, you agree to a shipping price, and the customer still can't check out because even though you've agreed that you'll ship to their country, it's not reflected in your shipping table, so they still can't check out, and that can cause a little bit of confusion. So what we suggest you do is you go through the checkout process yourself, stick one of your own artworks in your basket, and then when it comes to checkout, click the drop-down list and select the regional settings for the country of your customer. So let's say you've got a customer in Australia, you've agreed to ship there, but it's not working. Stick your artwork in your basket, select Australia, and you'll see the little error message that says artist cannot ship to this country. That is most likely because you haven't added Australia to your shipping tables. Something else. Oh yeah, Marcus mentioned a little bit earlier, worst case scenario adding to your shipping tables. Do you want to talk about that a bit?
So I think what Cheska's saying is when you're setting your rate for anywhere else in the world, you might want to consider what your worst case scenario is. So if like we're in London at the moment, so consider like, oh, Sydney, Australia is our worst case scenario. So if you've got a quote for that destination, and you could set that one as your anywhere in the world, because then that should hopefully even though it might be very expensive, that should cover you for any other destinations that might be a bit slightly more obscure.
And remember, you can liaise and reset, be more specific, or even offer a partial refund.
Yeah.
That's why we implemented that, because that did happen a fair bit. I hope that covers your question, Anita. Next one's from Damien. Damo, thanks for writing in. Every now and then, artists from outside the UK get overwhelmed setting up shipping tables for international delivery. It's artists in the UK as well, and it's Artfinder support staff in the UK as well, so I totally feel you. Is it possible to provide more links for artists outside the UK? Absolutely it is. And thank you for bringing that to my attention. Sometimes I can get a little bit close to this. So I need people to tell me these things, because as soon as I realize there's a demand, as soon as that's when I know to do something about it. And anything I can do that can take a little bit of the pressure off the tech team, I'm more than happy to do that. And ever since I saw that, I've been giving it a little bit of thought, and I've thrown some stuff together. It's nowhere near ready to be shared yet. But if you had anything specific in mind, please get back in touch with us and I'll add it in. Or if you have any resources that you'd like included, let me know. And you also asked about Artfinder Shipping Plus. Are shipping tables still required? Well,
Damien, that's the $1 million question, really. It's our goal, really. That's what we're aiming for, but it's a long way off. We are striving for that every day to try and, because obviously if we can provide the quotes quotes for your artworks, then that's the best we can do, and take all that hassle away. So get rid of shipping tables entirely, and automated shipping plus does the rest. That's what we're aiming for, and as I say, we're striving for that.
Yeah. So, as Marcus says, we're hoping to render them completely obsolete, a thing of the past. We're going to have a really fun meetup where we all print out our shipping tables and burn them. We're probably not going to do that. But I think that while we're trialing it, it does help to give you a bit of a buffer, because the most common problem that we've had since we started implementing this is the price quoted and the price charged have been off for one reason or another. Underestimating the weight, overestimating the size. It just helps to have that little bit more leeway. Because if you've underestimated the size or the weight, you are instantly slapped with a £30 charge for underestimating. So you're trying to get a better price for your customer, but the courier is like, no, not having that. You lied to us. We're going to charge you a little bit more. And we're negotiating prices all the time, trying to get the best rates for yourselves. But it's a work in progress. So thanks for your patience and thanks for your help trialing it. And there will be a party when shipping tables are completely taken over by us and our couriers. Next, Sheila has asked, I thought we, the artist, don't have to include in our prices the import duties, taxes liable at the customer's end. We can just warn the customer they may have to pay these import duties at their end. Please confirm if this is correct. I do not include any expected import taxes in my shipping tables at present. Is this still the correct position? Do you mind if I take this one?
You go for it.
I'm so glad you wrote in with this. This is a huge, massive, flashing issue. We absolutely do want our artists to account for import duties and fees in their shipping tables. The amount of upset customers we have writing in and saying, out of the blue, I got this letter saying that I have to pay an extra £20 for a £40 artwork that's just reached my country. They're not happy about it. And we do give them a warning sign when it comes to checking out that they may have to pay additional import duties, but it gets missed. They miss it, and sometimes our artists don't actually reach out to them saying, hey, heads up, you're going to have to pay additional import duties for this. There are lots of reputable couriers that allow you to send something delivery duty paid, so you pay up front and the customer doesn't get any customs fees. We wholeheartedly want you to do this. And when it comes to calculating those prices, we use a tool called dutycalculator.com. It allows you 3 free tests, 3 free quotes, and then a package of 25 quotes is about $15. But as I say, you can't put a price on a happy customer. And you can even, try and score some brownie points by sending the customer an email saying, hey, this is an intercontinental shipment, but don't you worry, I have accounted for the duties, so you won't have any sting in the tail when it gets to your country. Aren't I wonderful? Thank you, and good night. It's a much better experience for them, and it's the level of customer service that we want to provide. If you have more questions about customs, that is a subject for another episode, because I could also talk about that for quite a long time. So we'll put a pin in that for now, but I hope I've covered that. Amelia wrote in with a question and an idea, and I got super excited when I read this. So the question was, statistically, when looking at the sales for the past year, what's the shipping cost range with the highest percentage of sales? I'm so glad you asked that. It's something, embarrassingly, that actually didn't occur to me to have a look at. We recently hired an amazing data scientist who I have been bombarding all day, asking to check those numbers for me.
Hot off the press.
Yes, and amazingly he did, and so I think I owe him a drink or two, or the soul of my firstborn child, because he got that done for us really quickly, and it's ready for you. And you might be interested to know that 59% of our orders from 2016 were less than £25 shipping. 14% of orders were free shipping, and only 4% of orders were priced at over £80 shipping. So the numbers suggest outright that shipping does play a very valuable role in whether a customer goes ahead and purchase the artwork they found. Something that I went to a forum a while back, and it was talking about value for money. And the more expensive an artwork is, the more a customer will understand that he or she might have to pay. But a common theme is, a customer will just not even reach out if they find a £50 artwork with £30 shipping. They won't think that's good value for money. Proportionally, it just doesn't make sense. So it might be something to consider when setting your shipping prices, when setting your artwork prices. Is this a reasonable amount to ask for shipping an artwork of this value? You like numbers? Do you want to say anything?
No, they're
I've
great
covered
numbers.
it quite well.
Yeah, you've done well there.
Thank you.
No worries.
Oh yes, furthermore, the idea was to incorporate the shipping cost in the total price that the customer sees. Now, granted, we don't do that on the product page, and sometimes the customer can miss the link where we show the shipping prices. But when a customer adds something to their basket and goes to the basket, all the information's there. And I think we decided to keep it that way.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, just to keep it simple. Rosalind says, one thing I've noticed when looking at the work of others is that many artists just put shipping rates for the US and UK. I live in Italy, and when looking into a piece of art I might be interested in buying, I often receive the answer that this artist doesn't ship to where I live. I fear the same may be happening to me, as I haven't listed every single country in the world in my shipping rates. We kind of glossed over that, didn't we?
I think it's, as I say, if you're unsure, just place one of your products into your basket and have a look. As Cheska said earlier, just change the shipping country and you can see what's said and have the confidence to know you can ship to them countries. But it's also worth remembering them regions, that the North Americas, the Europes, in setting up your shipping table should cover the rest of them countries.
And you might be pleased to know that when a customer reaches out to us saying, I think this shipping is totally unreasonable, we take your side. We absolutely do. And we say, they're artists, it's setting shipping rates. We do our utmost, but if they don't reach out to us directly, sometimes it can slip through the net. And we will always do absolutely everything we can to make sure that we help you set the right rates and we get you a happy customer. Finally, Henrietta, when exactly will Artfinder take care of shipping here in the US? Well, you may be delighted to hear that we are this close to US domestic. So close to US domestic. How close are we?
Very close, I think is the answer to that. Just keep your eye, obviously, when you log into your seller portal. We'll obviously put an announcement when we release US domestic. As I say, we're hoping to do it in the extreme near future, but as I say, just keep your eyes on your seller portal. Fingers crossed very soon.
Yeah. With regards to US outside, so intercontinental shipments, US to Europe, US to Australia, we don't want to jump the gun and give you something that is not completely legal. That's a terrible way of putting it, but commercial invoices can sometimes be overwhelming, and they can get you flustered if you're worried about the right harmonized code or the right pricing. All of these factors get taken into consideration when they reach customs, and you really can't be too careful. So I want to take some time to go through how to compile a good commercial invoice with you guys before we launch something like US to Europe shipment, just so that we can be absolutely sure that you guys aren't going to get stressed out and we're not going to get stressed out, and everything is going to be perfect and wonderful and happy, and we'll have lollipops and it will be amazing. So those are more or less those are the questions from the forum. Do we have anything else that we want to talk about?
So, RT Atoll, please introduce bulk editing of shipping for artworks, repeated by AS Shanoy. Bulk editing, please.
Bulk editing of artwork. We've done it for managed images.
Yeah, we might be able to do something on that front. As I say, it'll probably be an advanced tool we'd hide away from the normal shipping tables, but certainly something definitely we could look into.
I had the genius idea to sort of, once you create your shipping table, click the artworks that you want to apply to it. But when it comes to setting up your shop right from the off, it might be that you haven't done your artworks yet, but you have done your shipping tables, or vice versa. And again, we want to keep it intuitive and smooth for the time being. But it's a great suggestion, and we'll put it in the log. You probably know this, but the more of you that reach out to us with the same question, it's going to get bumped up. So if that is a priority to you guys, let us know.
I think there's also another question on the forum regarding if you temporarily want to offer free shipping for a weekend, that obviously off your back, you have to end up editing all your shipping tables to reduce the cost and then inputting them again. So an option where you could maybe set free shipping for a particular weekend, like similar how you do sales, might be something we could look into as well to aid in that front.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Is there anything else?
Many people say hi,
Hello.
greetings from different areas in the world. Emma Sion Pritchard suggested to use a wider estimate to cover all areas when discrepancies within the same countries occur. That's a great idea.
That's a great suggestion. If you didn't hear that, Emma has suggested using a wider estimate. So for example, I imagine this means for when you're setting prices for Europe, just pick the furthest away country in Europe and let that apply to all of Europe.
Damo says hi.
Hi,
even though
Damo.
it's 3 a.m.
Oh, we've done it
sorry,
again.
yeah.
Sorry.
But he's not sleeping. Yesterday, yes. Yeah. I think that's all. People
Brilliant.
are sending thanks.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you for tuning in. It's been great.
Thank you. And our next one will be 26th of January. So join us then. And take care and goodbye.
Yeah, a big thanks to Michael and Michelle for the behind the scenes work on this.
Yeah,
Really
we'll thank
good.
them for that.
Thank you.
All right.
No worries. Bye everyone. Cheers.